Like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told them this was always in the plans. I just did it cause they said I can. Blowing euros when I'm down in France. Labels asking how I build a brand. Told them put a check up in my hands. Still got time, no cap. Made a few checks, but they all in the raps. Had a few friends, but they suck in the past. I don't even trip when I'm thinking about that. Hopped in the whip and we all in black. Shawty wanna ride to the hop in the back. 0 to 100, seen the rev on the dash. They ain't catching up, dog, I'm moving too fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told them don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making hits, dog, like I'm in a big league.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Yes, we are live here just at the 7 p.m. hour, man. I got a special one for y'all tonight. I know y'all already saw the title of the video, Miami Dolphins color commentary. If y'all don't know who this man is, you've been missing out. I got to tell y'all, before I even bring him on, man, and a lot of y'all probably already know who Culler is, but if you don't know who he is, I got to tell you my story. I don't get to watch Dolphins content often. And like this has been like the last 2 weeks has been like the first time I get to sit back and enjoy Dolphins content. But one thing I do scavenge around sometimes and listen to different platforms. And I got to tell y'all, man, about a month ago or maybe a little more, I heard this guy talking and he was just making all the common sense in the world. And common sense ain't common at all. And I said, I got to work with this guy one day. I have to work with him. And I am blessed to be able to share a stream with the man himself, Color Commentary, man. What's up?
What's up, TD? Good evening, everyone. I really appreciate that, man. I'm one of those people that never expected that kind of reception in life by people. So I really do appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you, man. You had a great Dolphins voice, and I'm not just talking about the audio, but the substance and the things that you talk about. That's why I took a liking to listening to you, man. But I'm even more excited because what a lot of people don't know is that you actually have launched your own channel, which is amazing to me because now I have yet another person who I can really enjoy the content. And if you don't know, if you haven't went over to Color's channel, the link is at the top of the chat right now, pinned to the top of the chat. Go subscribe to Color Commentary. I mean, the man had 21 subs starting his stream. We're going to show some love, and I'm sure he's going to earn a lot of your subs. because he's going to bring great content. So make sure you go over and subscribe to Culler Commentary. And he's also affiliated with other platforms as well, which he'll tell you about during this stream. But Culler, man, what you got for us tonight?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to those 21 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. Some of them may actually be in your chat tonight because, that we always do, share a lot of viewership in that regard. But I'm really humbled because, it's real. I'm just, I grew up watching this team. My first experience with them was my elementary school painted in aqua and orange back in '83, and I didn't really understand what everything was all about, until about '87, and and then from then on, it was watching Dan Marino throughout his career and all that. So I kind of have that perspective. I guess you could call me an old timer in that regard, and I'm kind of set in my ways on a lot of things. But that being said, I try to just stick with what my eye test tells me, what I've seen throughout my life, and that's all we can go by these days. So I do appreciate everybody in chat. Because I've at one point, I've been told not to, I'm kind of try to be as modest as I can, but I've been told by people since I was 18 years old that I should be in radio, and I probably squandered that gift my whole life. So here's, YouTube gives you a great platform to do that. And, so that being said, I do want to thank, our gracious broadcast host tonight, TD, for allowing me to speak with you guys tonight, and Providence allowing going forward.
Yes, man. And we've set it up, ladies and gentlemen, to where you will see Culler on Friday nights, every Friday evening. As long as all is well and it continues to be, he should be here on Friday evenings, giving us his takes on the latest in Miami Dolphins football, and earning your hearts to come over to his channel, Culler Commentary, because listen, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. I know I say that for about quite a few people. This guy knows what he's talking about. So make sure you go check out the channel and subscribe, and bounce it off of me. Let me know what you think about him. All right. But hey, man, let's do it, Culler. And I know that you're typically found on other streams as well, right?
Yes, actually, and that's another shout out and thank you I'd like to give to El Capitan, Chris Adams over at the Fins Tailgate, who, not only gave me a place to come on in a comfortable environment, to jump on a panel, but, also encouraged me and to use my voice and kind of not be afraid to show who I am on the internet and all that. So, those guys do a great job. I usually can be found there most late nights. He starts his stream around 10 o'clock. On various nights with different shows. I'm sure you guys have already seen Mike and the Mike over here on TD's channel before too. He's one of them, and so I've been kind of doing a more regular as far as my show goes, kind of a practice. I wouldn't say practice run, but more of like a kind of my commentary exclusively on Thursday nights around 11 o'clock. So you can always catch me there too. And it's just a little more late night candid take on our beloved organization and the things we've been through the years. So, obviously parental advisory is recommended. Other than that, we're, everybody's friendly over there, and you guys are more than welcome to check out his channel, also the Fins Tailgate. And also like and subscribe this video too, and make sure, if you haven't already, I know everybody here is probably a huge TD fan, but if it is your first night here, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to this man's channel too, because it's people like him that allow everybody to bring content on a regular basis about the team we all like to enjoy most of the time. So
all right, so what's on the docket tonight, man?
So I was gonna start talking. I was just happened to catch. I didn't realize it this morning because I didn't happen to listen to the radio this morning. But I noticed that Joe Rose had broadcast his sit down interview with Mike McDaniel this morning on the local Miami radio channel, sports channel. So I was listening to that a little earlier this evening, and I got a few comments I want to make on that because I've made it apparent to everybody my feelings on hiring Mike McDaniel because just right along with certain other players involved on our team, it's hard to criticize somebody that everybody has already developed to kindly put it, a sycophantic love for somebody. So it's I just wanted everybody to pump the brakes when because to me it's like somebody coming into our family through the front door. Would anybody just be like, oh yeah, come on in? No, we might say come on in, but we're also going to have our reservations because we've been this family for such a long time. So I've got a few thoughts about Mike McDaniel. Hopefully I can make that get drawn out because I wanted to talk about the Shanahan and Belichick debate, Shanahan tree Belichick debate, but gosh, there's so many dynamics involved that I've rethought so much that I may have already having to jump to volume 3 on that. So maybe we won't get to that tonight, but I did want to before I started bringing anybody on and kind of letting the community talk. First of all, I'll try to get to everybody's comments once we get started. Obviously I'm sort of a novice at this, so and a little distracted. So I'll try to get to everybody's comments, and obviously any kindness is always going to be read 100% through a super chat. So just keep that in mind. I won't miss those. But also just make sure that everybody's kind to everybody in the chat. If I'll try to I can interact with you guys, and you can stop me whenever and debate anything with me. And then maybe later on we'll have enough time to bring anybody on that wants to directly engage in some conversation. So that being said, as I said before, I'm glad, I'm welcome to everybody. This would be the first installment of color commentary on TDPHINSTALK, and I wanted to thank every one of you for being here tonight. So that being said, I'll get started. And I guess the first thing I wanted to say was I was actually surprised when I listened to the interview. It actually caused me to go back and listen to some of the press conference for his introduction, and I took down some notes because I was actually I was actually more surprised than I thought I would be. First of all, I am not a fan at all of hiring Mike McDaniel as our head coach. There's so many things that are going to that I believe are going to set us back or potentially could set us back for a long time. And I think it's a lot more of spinning our wheels. And when I see the absolute, dare I say, propaganda campaign to usher in this head coach, as if we hadn't seen that so many times before in our history. I just have to take a step back, breathe, and realize how many more young people are there in this fan base that haven't quite been through that meat grinder. So the first thing I thought, I'll start with the concerning things because I don't want to just mess all over the man. I can find good in everything, but the first thought I thought was, well, his first, he had said that his first thought when he realized that, other than signing the contract, that he had gotten the job and was now the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, was that he needed to talk to Tua. And I can understand that, I guess, but I just thought it clicked in my head that it was some other things that he had said, that this man really, really believes in Tua. at least he believes in himself enough to think that there was something going on besides the lack of NFL talent from Tua that doesn't allow him to reach his potential. And at first, obviously, everybody, yeah, I know, I already see it coming. Oh my God, another Tua hater. No, I don't hate anybody. I actually, if you're willing to put on aqua and orange and put your head down, I'll love you to death. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to label me a Tua hater, if you talk, I'd like to more call myself a Tua detractor, because although I do know it's possible for anybody to prove me wrong, as TD likes to differentiate, I don't think it's probable. So I'm not what you call a believer. And what I mean by that is I just don't believe. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to call that a hater, I guess in today's vernacular, where any kind of criticism or pushback of anybody is considered hate, then that may be what you want to call it. But I'll sing the same song that everybody that they would probably. I mean, TD and I don't always agree on everything, but for those that mostly agree with him, then I don't think that I'm also going to parrot the same thing and say that we're not haters at all by any stretch of the imagination. But I appreciate the comment, though. One of the things that I did like, though, it bothered me at first that Mike McDaniel seemed like he was programmed and ready to basically give the entire. I mean, for a second there, I thought maybe he was the guy in the shadows this whole time. I actually thought for a second that he was Tuaing on this mysterious figure that nobody actually knows who it is. I really thought Mike McDaniel was Tuaing on. And it bothered me a little bit, because I thought, man. And then I thought, just kind of like Larry K had mentioned in his show that he had put out earlier today. I happened to watch it in retro, and he had mentioned that, yeah, that's Magoo. Okay, I get that, and great point, Larry. So I'll take that for what it is. It didn't bother me that much, but it did tell me that there's a lot of things that none of us know inside the building that happen inside the building. And I always like to preach that when in defense of Flores, whenever I defend him and all that. So I want to also be fair and preach that on the other side too, that there is a possibility that it's the other way around too, and that somebody was affected in a way that not maybe some quarterbacks in the NFL have never had to deal with. Okay, fine. I don't believe that, but that's okay, because there's roughly 1,500 players in the league that have to deal with getting traded every day of the week. So I'm not, I'm just one of those types. I'm old school, like I said. But one of the things that I did like that Mike McDaniel followed that up with, or as far as moved into in his interview, was that he said that, you believe in someone until they give you a reason not to. And I thought that is a very, 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 very wise statement. Now, he's not much younger than me, but if I'm not mistaken, he's still sub 40. I want to say 38. Can chat help me out with that? Is he 38 or is he all the way up to 40? Anybody know? Either case. So I'm not saying that the guy can't be on the on the bottom end of the slope of the Dunning-Kruger effect, so granted, he may have real wisdom, and that's a very wise statement. It also gave me a little bit of encouragement that if he's not able to do something, or if, let's say, us detractors, God forbid, happen to be right all along about the lack of skill at our quarterback position, then a statement like that gives him a way to say, I've said that the whole time. I believed in him till I don't believe in him, basically is what he said. Well, he hasn't been in the building all this time, and I'll give him credit that at least for, he's trying to believe in somebody before not believing in them. And that is the right thing to do for somebody that hasn't spent the last 2 years watching what we have. He's kind of at a disadvantage, and that's, our organization that put him in that situation. That also, on a sidebar, that reminds me that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But he also mentioned that, there's a lot of pressures involved in being a high draft pick. In years past, we would have said, well, gone. Josh Rosen. Well, I mean, Josh Rosen wasn't that. I mean, he was high enough, but that's not really the example I wanted to use. I wanted to use even older examples like Ty Detmer, Heisman Trophy winner from BYU, that, never even, I don't even think he finished a season in the NFL. So, he's saying, okay, pressures of being a high draft pick. And he, maybe there's something he knows that we don't know. Maybe he is a coach that, maybe that's the definition of unlocking someone. I don't really know, because words like unlocking someone or guru, these words don't really mean anything to me in an objective sense, because, what is a guru? What is unlocking? I mean, Tua needs to unlock himself. And I really do appreciate that, Chris over at the tailgate. He says, tell me how the narrative now that Fangio isn't coming to Miami, that Boyer is now the reason the defense was doing good last year. If I understand your question correctly, why all of a sudden is it that Fangio is not here? That, in other words, that who we call two and ears didn't get their wish and didn't get the help that McDaniel's going to need to be successful to, by proxy, make Tua look good, because they believe that Fangio's, was the key to making sure our defense is good. Yeah. I mean, now that Boyer is the guy that Mike McDaniel chose, because I see a correlation between both sets of people, because I couldn't even breach the subject of the Shanahan versus Belichick tree without everybody assuming I was talking about Mike McDaniel. So that's already started too. And I think maybe there's half of them that are, no, I'm straight just a Mike McDaniel guy, convinced, sold, hook, line, and sinker. And then there are those people still don't believe in Tua. And then there's half of them that are both Mike McDaniel, hook, line, and sinker, and Tua, hook, line, and sinker. So I think it's a little bit of both in that regard. But yeah, I mean, I was going to get to Josh Boyer in a second, because I that does lead into, that does carry off of what I'm talking about the things McDaniel said, because he did address Josh Boyer in his interview. So basically, McDaniel espouses things sort of like our last coach. Like, he wants to make players the best they can be. And that reminds me of something Flores said, being the best version of themselves. And that's great. I mean, that's what we want to hear from our head coach. And also, do the things you can control. That's probably one of the most important things that I see that he said that as pertaining, sort of as an aside to Tua, because that's the main thing that Tua needs to change, is, doing the things that he can control. So there's nothing outright concerning to me about our head coach. It's just a matter of execution. It's just, he's very happy with our defense. He had nothing but praise for our defense, which is ironic, because I spent the last full season arguing the same thing. But now that's okay. We to Chris's point over at the Fins tailgate. Yeah, we spent So, and as far as Josh Boyer, I was comfortable with it because the same thing for the same reason Mike McDaniel said, continuity. Continuity is probably the biggest important thing right now for our defense to stay the way it is. I think that was the point of everybody wanting a elder statesman as our defensive coordinator. And for anybody concerned about who was calling plays last year, who was responsible for our defense's success towards the latter part of the year, I mean, it doesn't really matter because both of the players involved, Flores and Boyer, both came from the same system in New England. And I suspect that the first time Belichick gave the reins over to Flores, I mean, we don't hear about these things, but the Patriots weren't undefeated every single season. So there were times their defense got beat, and we could never know how many of those times were Flores's first outing. So we have to give some deference to Josh Boyer when it comes to, especially if we're going to continue to give deference to players like Tua as far as their ability to get better and grow. We have to give some kind of credit to Boyer's ability to learn any lessons that he needed to learn last year. So I'm perfectly fine with that. And it seems our new head coach is also. So I really was pleased to hear that. That really makes, that gives us hope. So that gives us a situation where, as Ross said, our roster is pretty much there. Pepper in a few things. Offensive line, strengthen the offensive line, bring in a couple more playmakers in the secondary as far as wide receivers go. Yeah, I mean, if he can really do it, if he can unlock anything on offense, I mean, if he can bring in an offense and that's all we're missing and we keep Boyer in place, then I don't see any reason why anybody should be concerned about that. He believes in the current style of defense, having had to game plan for it in the past, which he gave all the credit to for us taking care of his 49ers, which I thought was fun. It's the kind of stuff. He's a little endearing when it comes to that. Not to say that I require endearment out of my head coach. For those that think that that's the most important thing in the building at winning a Super Bowl. But he wants the coaching staff to be a reflection of him. Coaching for the team and its players and each other as coaches. So, yeah, sounds like a big kumbaya down in Miami. Let's all join the fun. I would say that, well, one last thing that I was really impressed with is at least the recognition. And I'll quote Mike McDaniel. What does the last 20 years have to do with this year unless there are things we can use from that time going forward? And all I have to say to Mike McDaniel is, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. That's all I got to say about McDaniel. As far as Tua goes, we have to we keep bringing it up, and I want some answers from people in chat, and I don't even mind bringing somebody on if TD wants to drop a link. I don't even mind bringing somebody on to directly tell me and discuss this. Like, are we really talking about not challenging our quarterback by bringing in some backup that can't win for us? I really don't understand that mentality. We're on the brink of winning, like big time winning, because for all that's been lost, everybody's lost the fact that we're still an above 500 football team, as bad as everybody thinks our roster is constructed, especially on offense. Our new head coach believes in our defense and has done as much as he possibly can to keep all the players intact and all the players involved on the defense, the coordinator, all that intact. And he's supposed to just change enough to get our quarterback to go. Well, first of all, if anybody thinks for a second that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but would our owner actually fire Mike McDaniel because he's going to be faced with the same decision about what happens if you bring in a quarterback that's good enough to be a backup for whatever reason, but isn't good enough to challenge Tua. I mean, we know that Mike McDaniel can win with a guy at, let's say, Jimmy G's level because he just did it. So how long this gets to? This is Mike McDaniel now is going to have to like thread the needle in supporting Tua, and he's going to have to find this reason not to believe and it has to be early enough. Because, like I said, he's proven to be able to go deep in the postseason with a guy like Jimmy G. So how long will McDaniel stick with Tua, and will he go against the front office when it comes time to making a change early enough to salvage a season, let's say, next year? Because there's a lot of people in our fan base who believe Ross still as not being a disingenuous person and think that the only thing we were missing to get to the playoffs this year was a head coach. So that being said, I'll welcome looks like Shedrick Bryant and Tony. I appreciate you guys coming up. Tell me where I'm wrong, Shedrick.
You're not wrong at all. That was going to be the first thing that I would. That's been what I've been saying ever since he got hired. My thing was, are you going to bring in a backup? Because I didn't like having Brissett. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a draft pick. I mean, we could go look and try and get Teddy Bridgewater, somebody that can like bridge the gap and still be able to be good enough for us to win a couple games, but also can bring Tua along as far as being a game manager, being good on third down, just situational football, because that's what Tua's lacking. He's
Now,
lacking situational awareness.
do you think that do you think there's a possibility that McDaniel would be disillusioned enough before game one to where Tua doesn't even make it out of training camp?
I don't think he's going to do that. I think for this season solely, his mission is to make Tua a better quarterback this season. So any way possible to do that, I don't know kind of what his mindset, because if you think about San Francisco, they got Jimmy G probably Kyle's second year. So that first year they had Beathard and they had Nick Mullins. So you got to think about it like they work with what they have the best way they possibly can until they can find an upgrade.
So you think Tua is basically our Nick Mullins?
Yeah, pretty much.
God.
Well, real quick, Tony. Thanks for joining us, Von Joe. Appreciate you coming in. And go ahead, Tony. Tell me where I'm wrong, Tony.
Honestly, oh my God, I'm not a big Tua fan. Like in terms of his play style, like I hate that we have to hire a coach that might have to fix him, and this is what's hindered our franchise the past 20 years and stuff like that. Trying to build around a quarterback that has limited talent and stuff like that. I kept on defending Tannehill, saying that he was, what is it called? He was just transferring from receiver and learning the position his first 2 years of his career with the Dolphins. And I kept on using that excuse. If you're transferring, this is an honest question for you guys. How long does it, if a quarterback is transferring from that was naturally a quarterback, but they had to force him to play another position like receiver, and he had to transfer back 1 year, how long does it take him to readjust to the position? Is my honest question.
Right. So real quick, Von Joe, what do you got to say about it? You think I got it? You think there's any flaw in my logic here?
Actually, there was only one flaw in your logic, and that was the last statement that you made that kind of worried me. Where you stated that he won with a quarterback like Jimmy G, and maybe he could do that here. Now, I get the logic, but there's only one flaw in that logic, is that the NFC is weaker than the AFC.
Really?
So to have, are you serious?
Really?
Well, we'll
Yes,
find out
very-
Sunday. We'll find out Sunday.
No, but if you look at that division, if you look at, for example, that division, what was the 49ers records?
We do know that the AFC is better than the NFC in flag football, though.
Definitely.
We did find that out
Well,
last
I
Sunday.
think what Bon Joe is trying to say, it's not
But
that it's
record-wise,
weaker,
you
it's
could
not
get
as
into the
deep.
playoffs in the NFC with a weaker record, especially going against
No.
the AFC East.
Did you watch that year? The Niners were like the first or second seed.
But I'm saying you could survive
No,
that.
they
But
got
in
it
the AFC,
as a wild card team. What do you mean? San Francisco got it as a wild card.
Oh,
The
I
AFC
mean, because the first 7 or 8 weeks they were like undefeated. I'm just
no,
saying.
they just nudged in, really. But
Oh,
Well,
so you're
San
talking about this
Francisco,
season.
San Francisco also beat the Rams twice in the season and then lost
is
to them in the
true.
playoffs. So
Yeah.
which is true. So, but the AFC East, especially the AFC, I think this year you have to get 11 plus wins to get into the NFL playoffs. You are not going
and
to
so
get
you
there
think,
with
and so
limping in.
you're kind of on board with me as far as that's only going to happen with a quarterback like Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or the like.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but
So you don't even think Mike
Jimmy
McDaniel
G is not-
could win in our conference with a quarterback at Jimmy G's level.
Well,
no, not Jimmy G. No,
he don't. I don't think he's, because I think right now okay. Let's go back to San Francisco. When did we discover George Kittle and all of these other players for San Francisco? It was whenever they didn't have Jimmy G. So I think what he's trying to do right now is just see what he has. Like he's seeing what he has and what he can tweak. And because I mean, I remember him making comments about he can coach Austin Jackson and all of this other stuff. Like he's trying to see what he can do with what he has before he has to make a move, because he doesn't know the talent
issue.
yet.
Hold on, but here's
Yeah,
another issue.
you know, hold on, guys, for a second. Scummy makes a great point. He said Fitzy put up 40 plus points on San Fran in 2020, and that illustrates a good point to what Von Joe's saying. Like, aren't we already more superior than that NFC team as far as AFC versus NFC?
I think so.
I mean, what am I missing here as far as upgrading to a quarterback at least the Jimmy G level? I'm not saying bringing in Jimmy G himself, but
you're not missing anything.
Color people, and
You know
I think the
the problem
Dolphins
is-
fan base is missing something, because if you look at the average, I think San Francisco, on average they put up 24 to 25 points this past year. Miami Dolphins put up, I think, about 20 points on average this year. So that's
20.4, if I remember
20.4.
correctly.
Yeah, it's about a 4 to 5 point difference, right? Now, if our defense regress, we're not winning, not even 10 games.
I agree.
Because I don't
agree
see
too.
us. That means our offense have to make up 4 to 5 points and exceed that, and I don't see that. Because I think everybody could agree that San Fran had better weapons than us.
So, Estefan, how you doing tonight? See you jumped in. Appreciate you coming in.
Man, I was in and out. I heard some of the takes. I didn't really hear a whole lot, man.
Hey, what's up, Esther?
What's going on, everybody? Everybody in the chat, what's going on? I just had to come and show some love, man. Support the channel, Culler, his takes, whatever he's got going on, man.
Well, how am I supposed to make it interesting if you just come in like agreeing with everything I say?
It's Valentine's Day, man.
Oh, that's right. It is almost.
Well, like I said, man, I couldn't hear everything because I was kind of like in the background having to get ready. I'm kind of like in motion, going somewhere. But I just want to give I know I heard you say like some stuff about coaching and whatnot. I was in and out. But I just wanted to give my take on the whole coaching situation now that it's changed. the way I view it, and I don't know exactly. I know that you give a lot of takes, and for the most part, there's not a whole lot that I disagree with when Culler's talking. I got to be honest.
And it's
But
really
with this,
hard right now because we still, there's so much time left before game 1 of the season.
yeah, man, I'm just cautiously going in with my expectations. I don't have any. I just want to let's see what happens once they take the field. That's my approach. But I did have a question for you. What move is your favorite move of the off season so far? I have one. I want to see what
So
yours is.
far,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm really happy with them keeping Josh Boyer.
But
I don't know,
couldn't.
Culler. I don't know. I don't know about that one, Culler.
I'm
disagree.
on the fence about that one. What one thing it does bring is a possibility of consistency with the players on our defense. So we'll see what happens, and I think you need to allow coaches to develop themselves, and
But
he'll
I
go
hear
into
that
his
there's
second
players
year.
that don't even like Josh Boyer on our defense.
Yeah, but that and I know where
As
you're
he
coming
say,
from.
she say though, man. I don't.
I know where y'all are coming from. We can't speculate. I know you got to consider those to be rumors. Let's just see what happens when they take the field. But I wanted to
And
give my
apparently
take.
Gerald
I think
Alexander calling the plays and not
I think
Boyer.
we're they're saying zone blocking scheme is what we're moving into. Okay, I understand that. But when you hire Wes Welker and you look at his success as a pro and his background collegiately, he came into the league successful for a reason. And not a lot of people give credit to this offense, but the air raid offense is what we run over here in Texas, which is a
Well,
quick scheme offense. And I think it makes sense that they brought in Welker. I think him and McDaniel can get the wheels turning because you don't need in the air raid. If I'm not saying they're going to run heavy air raid, I'm just saying they might actually start sprinkling in something similar to the air raid because with the plus side of the air raid is you don't have to have the best offensive line to run that offense. You know what I mean? You
well,
can,
that's what we
But
thought this year.
yeah, but that air raid is very dangerous because it's a
yeah, but
fast-paced offense,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
will
But see,
burn out your defense.
we didn't have the right coaches in place that know that. Wes Welker actually does. There's a reason why actually has a high success rate. You just have to know how to apply it. I think
You have
Wes
to have
Welker.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm
Just say
saying
it,
is
man.
I'm
You
not.
know that's what you want to say.
I think they're going to sprinkle some of that in. I'm not saying it's going to be heavy. Nobody's talking about it. But if you look at what we have right now, I know they're probably potentially going to upgrade, maybe one position at the O line, which should be at least a tackle.
Should be
But
right
I
tackle.
don't know how
It
I'm going to
should
leave
be
y'all
right
with that.
tackle.
But nobody's talking about that. I think that's why they brought Welker in.
Actually,
So
It should be
Well,
right tackle.
what I'd have to say about Welker is that he I mean, look, can he show our receivers how to get open? Can he show them how to sit down in the seam? Can he show them how to get to the open spots of the field? You
yes,
know what I mean? That's all I care about what Welker can do. You
yes,
know what I
Esther,
mean?
Esther.
yes. But I feel that there's going to be a collaborative effort, and they're going to get the wheels turning for the most part. But it's a wait and see approach. I'm not saying this stuff's going to be. I'm not even saying that
Well, they're certainly inviting all the
Well,
pressure onto themselves. So,
Yeah,
that's
because
another
he's
thing
when
Mike
like I
McDaniel.
said, this media
Real
lens on.
quick, guys. That's
I
another
gotta
thing Mike.
hop out. I just
Sure.
want to say I want to tell all you guys. I enjoyed all y'all's takes. Keep it going, Color. All of you guys, Vaughn, Anthony. Anthony always. One thing I'll say about Anthony, he said a lot of stuff in the past, going way back, and a lot of people kind of, for the most part, in the comment section or, not on this platform, but they kind of like shrug it off. Anthony will bring up some stuff that actually comes into fruition probably about once the season takes form, and you're like, hey, didn't somebody give a take on that? You know what I mean? So he's one of those guys. But
Yep.
yeah, shout out to
Yeah, I'm like
everybody on the panel. You know what I mean?
Thanks a lot, Esther. Hey,
All right, take
if
care,
you're
Esther.
still up later, come by the Fins tailgate, man. Glad you could show up, man.
Hey, Color,
That's what's
I
up,
got
man.
a Color,
You
I
have a
got
good
a
one.
slot as well. but keep up the good work on the commentary. And I also subscribe today, so
I appreciate that. I
I'll
really
be on your
do.
videos, and I'll be keeping up with you, man. Y'all have a
I
good one.
really do. You know, the more and I appreciate that, because the more of you I get subscribing to that channel, the more it lets me know I can fire up a stream middle of the day when everybody's bored and I'm not talking to a wall. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Y'all keep it easy.
You feel you're going
Thanks a lot,
crazy, huh?
Cedric. So real quick, I just wanted to also welcome he's been patiently waiting, Jerry.
Jerry, just
Hey, man.
yeah, Jerry
I'm
is
sorry,
fine.
I'm a little blind. I got you on my little screen right now.
Nah, it's fine, Color. I just wanted to comment on a few things that you guys were
Sure.
talking about. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep,
Yeah, you could.
absolutely.
The one thing when you guys were talking about whether we should bring in a backup quarterback, of course. Of course we should bring in a backup quarterback. Of course we should bring in a talented backup quarterback. Tua went to Bama. Tua didn't go to some regular college. He went to Bama. This is the same guy who quote unquote took Jalen Hurts' spot. Jalen Hurts is a starting quarterback in the NFL. So if Tua can do that, he should be able to understand that the fight isn't over.
So
You understand?
we'll put you on the show me the money list, right?
Yeah, the fight isn't over. Just because you get into the NFL, you can lose. I mean, NFL players say it all the time. Just because you get that starting spot doesn't mean you'll keep it. In any star in the NFL, any starter in the NFL will tell you that. So Tua has to earn. He has to earn his living. He can go out there. We paying you
Yeah.
millions. There's another man that can come in.
Given what we've seen from the front office,
Mhm.
mainly Mr. Ross, do you think that he's so I mean, is it really about winning to him, or is it about let's milk it whatever we can out of the marketing on
I
Tua
will
and
say
force it down everybody's throat?
I will say, to me, I think I have a different view on the whole situation. I think Ross does want to win. If the rumors are right, and Ross is scheduling meetings on his boat, and Ross is paying a man 100K to tank so he can have his franchise quarterback,
Don't
Ross
worry, our coach
definitely
told us
wants to
that
win.
he wanna do everything he wanna do to win. During
So
the press
Ross, I
conference.
understand, wants to win. What I think is going on, and I could be wrong here, I think Chris Greer just wants to prove he didn't mess up a top 5 pick. That's really what I think is going on. I think Chris Greer realized, hey, that 2021 draft, I had 3 good guys I drafted. I drafted Jalen Waddle, even though I don't give Chris Greer props for that draft, because in my opinion, he drafted 3 guys who were obvious. I mean, let's look at it. Jalen Waddle was on the top board for basically any team. He was basically either wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 for everybody. It was just his injury. Jalen Phillips, the only reason Jalen Phillips wasn't in the top 10 pick was because of rumors of quote unquote concussion history. But as a Canes fan, as a Miami Canes fan, I'm telling you, that was just a whole bunch of mess that
Yeah,
he had.
and right with you as a fellow Canes fan, the night that the night that he basically was the only reason Trevor Lawrence had problems on the field the
Exactly.
night we
You
played them was because of
you
Jalen
know he was
Phillips.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that, because we
And,
both know he was supposed to be a top 10 pick.
and from that moment
Or at
on, I
least
wanted us to draft him. And the thing of it
exactly.
is, maybe this is why I've been so enamored with a guy like Flores over the last couple of years, is because you and I both know, as longtime Dolphin fans and as Kane fans, that it's actually a fairly rare thing for the Dolphins to draft one of these, top
Exactly.
Miami Hurricanes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just doesn't happen. We
Just
might
doesn't
finally
happen.
get one of them in free agency years later,
Yeah.
i.e., Lamar Miller, right? Or
Duke
or
Johnson.
Gore for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to go out and draft somebody like Jalen Phillips that we all saw tear it up against Clemson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, from the moment I saw that
Jer-
game, I was convinced with Jalen Phillips that he'd be
Yeah,
having dinner with
Jerry,
JT. You know what I mean?
another reason why they overlooked Jalen too, besides the concussion issues, is he had another elite pass rusher across him in Gregory Rousseau.
Yeah.
So
But he
Gregory
outperformed
Rousseau. Yeah.
people,
Yeah, just to finish off my point, and then another the final pick, Javon Holland. Anyone that knows football knows Javon Holland was tied for safety one with Trevor Moehrig. Honestly, I think if Miami would have drafted either Javon or Trevor Moehrig, we would have been in a good spot regardless. Because Trevor Moehrig is eating and feasting on the Raiders. Javon is eating and feasting here. It's just that Javon had who I would say is a far better defensive mind than Brian Flores, Gerald Alexander, and just the entire defensive crew that we had. He just had a better environment around him.
And that's the thing about Boyer is that he'll serve as a reminder to these guys that they really don't need him. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, especially if we're able to keep X on board, you know, and I don't like to stress the importance of player coaches per se, but I mean, I honestly believe that what Flores brought to our defense, even if Boyer was gone, I think that's so you could almost just not even have a DC. You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
like
I think
and
they're just so gifted, and you know, not just their physical gifts, but up here too in running the defense. You know what I
that's
mean?
what
And I think
I
that
think
you
fans are
have a
gonna
guy
miss.
like Boyer as a face of that to remind them
Yeah,
who they are, and I
yeah.
think our defense is going to be just fine.
I think
We
our guys
saw a lot
are
of
gonna miss that about
instincts.
Flores
I
as
think we saw a
well.
lot of
Like
instincts in Hollins, where in one play where he was baiting a lot of these quarterbacks and
yeah.
breaking on the
People
ball
say he's
lovely.
Rashad. Yeah,
And he's
people are
so
saying he's
quick.
Rashad Jones.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Now the
So
thing
that's it.
about X,
You're right. He reminded me
I
of
mean,
little Rashad.
the thing about Xavier Howard that I noticed, I saw this clip of him training in practice, and it was just like a short meme clip. But man, I'm hard pressed to find most wide receivers in the league that understand the real essence of of how to catch a football better than Xavier Howard, a
yeah.
defensive back. I
Hmm.
mean, man, that's impressive
Yeah,
stuff.
he's
He could
talented.
literally have a second career as a wide receiver if he wanted to.
So
Color.
I have a question for you, Color.
Yeah.
So we already know X is he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Um
Polished.
where he leaves a lot of hints. He's very basically, for lack of a better
Cryptic,
word,
very cryptic.
yeah, he's very cryptic in what he does. You know, the whole post of him posting the picture waving off to the stadium and just putting X, and you know, the fact that, you know, him posting things that people say, oh, was it for Tua? Was it for Brian Flores? Then you get rid of Gerald Alexander, who is a coach that is loved by our defensive backs, but you keep Boyer. Do you think that that is going to set somebody like X off on the wrong way, where he's going to be like, okay, these guys are, I just don't like what's
You
going on?
know, Jerry, what I would just recommend on that regard to kind of help you decide for your own self, you know, is and you may have already caught this, but you know, go and check out that interview with him and Richard Sherman.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
You
I saw
saw
that.
that, and
Mhm.
so I just feel like he's above all that. To be honest with you,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, I think he's at a point in his career and in his life as a man that I just don't
He's
I
not as
kind of think he's
immature as he
above all
used to be.
that.
Okay.
He's
One
not as
real quick. CB had mentioned that yeah, we're all going to be eating crow together, and I got to get the jerk seasoning from Publix. Shout out to Publix, by the way. Shopping is a pleasure. Uh, but
Hold on,
cheap
man.
plug right
Hold
there.
on. They sponsoring
we'll
this?
make
Color. They
sure we
sponsoring
will
this?
bring the subs too. Don't worry.
Are they sponsoring this, Color?
No.
Oh no,
Publix has no. You know,
nah.
I have
Ain't no
a
Publix
shout
is
out
the
to
Miami
Publix then.
Dolphins honk, and they are
color.
Tua lovers. I'm pretty sure.
Listen. Ain't no shout out to Publix till they cut the check.
Oh well, not only that, but you know, as Flores said, you know, Jimmy John's. You know what I mean? What can I say? You know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this when we were talking last night, Color, but I couldn't bring it up because we were off the getting on shutting down on Chris's stream.
Mhm.
That honestly, I would want them to run a 3-3-5 defense, having 3 safeties, 2 corners.
Well, I
And drafting
mean, to me, it's the thing about our defense is it's built like TD always points this out. It's built. It's a speed defense. It's built to take over a game if we get ahead.
Create confusion.
No.
Create chaos.
No.
know-
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Culler. And the reason why I'm saying that, if we have two strong safeties on either side of Holland, he can become the single high safety.
Yeah,
Purely the single high.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's
if you
kind
look
of how
away,
we
but
used to run things, with Oliver and guys like that, guys like was it JB Brown? I mean, that's kind of sure we can, and you know what, we can always keep that discussion up later on if you like to,
I know,
as far
but
as getting
don't you think that
into
takes away?
concepts.
But don't you think that takes away from how we use Holland right now? Because he's all over the place. That kid is all over the place, whether he's single high or he's coming down into the box, because he could cover and he could thump.
No.
Well, I would
that's
say
what I'm
as
saying.
long to not upset the apple cart, I would say, Maverick. Give him the choice. He's Maverick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's
'cause
what I'm saying.
I mean,
we can draft a single high safety, and didn't mean to say move Holland to the single high. Maybe draft a single high safety that's naturally that position, and have Holland as a Maverick, or the position that Troy Polamalu played in the what's his name? The guy who used to be the coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the guy who recently retired. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Heinz Orr? Who you said who?
No, the defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
I'm not sure.
The guy
The only
that
time
Ryan
Not
Clark
sure.
talks about.
The only time I hear defense, I just think Tomlin.
No, I'm thinking the guy I'm thinking of is the guy that Ryan Clark talks about all the time. His defensive coordinator when they were winning the Super Bowls. The Dick. His name name is.
I was gonna say the only dick I know is
O'Neal.
Butkus.
What I would say to that is, if Boyer runs the defense similar to what Flores did, our defense has always been more catered toward corners than safeties.
But McDaniels did say something interesting where he was like, if the offensive progress, it's okay for the defense to regress. And that kind of worries me. That he's okay with
who said
our
that?
defense.
Who said that?
McDaniel. Oh geez, he did so many interviews, I forgot which one it was. But he literally was like,
I mean, he's
Dick
setting
LeBeau.
himself up
Dick
with a
LeBeau.
lot of pressure there, because
Dick
you got to
LeBeau,
figure
yeah.
if we're holding teams to 17 points a game roughly, and you add a couple touchdowns to that, man, he must be thinking he's going to be scoring big. That's all I got to say about that. So,
he was like,
so real
hey,
quick, guys, we don't have too much time left, because I know people have things to do a little later on, but what I wanted to do was real quick get your Super Bowl picks. Tony, who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, I see the Rams blowing. I don't have faith in that defense, that the offensive line or the defense of the Bengals. I see the Rams blowing them out. I honestly
What do you got for a score? What are we talking blowout?
45-10.
45-10, huh? Ooh, you're talking about that's like the last time the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. Ooh,
that's kind of rough.
Man. How about you, Von Joe? Who you got?
Well, I got the Rams winning, because I cannot take. I don't think my stomach could take Joe Burrow winning a Super Bowl. I can't.
Why is that? You tell just because of the talk that it'll create around these parts.
Yes, and it's kind of it makes my stomach turning just thinking about it.
Well, it does feed into my Belichick and
I know
Shanahan narrative. You know what I mean?
I know. So I'm gonna say.
By the way, I wasn't able to get to that tonight. So everybody, if you want to go to my channel, subscribe to my channel, you can find my take on Belichick. Actually, also at the Fins tailgate. I haven't uploaded a clip on my channel for that yet, but I did give my synopsis last night on the Fins tailgate late night
Didn't
color
Aquavision
commentary
say?
on.
But didn't Aquavision say that the Parcells tree basically?
Yeah,
was
but I
snubbed?
wasn't. You know what? But you know what? I was thinking on that later. They're right. Aqua's right about that, but at the same time, we could go back further than that for everybody. So
I mean, if you want to go down
lest
trees,
we forget that the Andy Reid tree has had every bit as much success. His trunk has had every bit as much success as Shanahan and Belichick. So
there's one part of
let's not
Andy.
And
forget.
don't forget,
But yet,
There's
but
one
yet
part
the
of his
enemy,
tree
but
that
yet
would
the
not.
enemy continues to get snubbed for his own chance. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
that's the one part of his tree that just will not take root anywhere for some weird
So if
reason.
anybody,
well,
if anybody wanted to make an argument, for somebody besides somebody off the Shanahan tree, okay, fine if you don't like the Belichick tree, but what's wrong with the Reed tree? We're about to find out Sunday. In my opinion, well, I'll finish that in a second. But Jerry, who do you got in the Super Bowl Sunday?
Just off of the amount of star power and how the Rams have just a lot of veteran guys that I guess we all can say we hope they win. Guys like Ramsey, Odell Beckham, and all of that. I think the Rams would win. And as a Dolphin fan, we better hope the Rams win because we better hope a guy like McVay is able to prove our point. And as much as our fan base loves to harp on Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, having those two men win a championship,
By the way,
we
from
won't be
the
able to say
Philbin tree,
anything for an entire year.
from the Philbin tree, let's
Yeah.
correct
As
that
much as
record.
we have, as much
In other
as
words,
we have,
if you pull up Zach Taylor right now on anywhere, Wikipedia, PFF, whatever, his whole list is just about all Miami Dolphins.
listen, if Zach Taylor is able to beat McVay, who everybody's like, oh, him and Shanahan, this, that, and the third, what does that say about McDaniel? So,
Well, it doesn't much say about McDaniel. However, if I could give a reason for the Dolphin fans to root for the Bengals, besides the fact that it'll absolutely vindicate my idea that the Shanahan tree bears just as little fruit as the Belichick branches. Okay. But let's say that the Bengals win, then that means that the goal, the prize of being the first Shanahan disciple to win the Super Bowl will still be up for grabs for our beloved head coach, a Miami Dolphin, Mike McDaniel. And I'll leave it at that. I really appreciate you guys showing up tonight.
All right.
And we
Great
need
job
to
tonight,
realize
Culler.
Shanahan.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
And
all right,
Take care.
Yep. And so there you guys have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to, I'm probably going to be able to continue all these discussions with any of you. If you want to come join the Fins tailgate later tonight at 10 o'clock, Chris is going to have his show on, the actual Fins tailgate show, hosted by El Capitan Chris Adams. And so what do you think about, you got anything to add to what I was saying tonight, TD?
Nope. I'm gonna be honest. I just enjoyed the conversation, man, and I honestly want to hear more from you tonight. Let them know where you're gonna be tonight.
Okay, so now tonight, I mean, I'm not necessarily per se part of the show tonight. Chris has his show, the Fins Tailgate, tonight at 10 o'clock, and generally he pulls people on a panel, and there shouldn't be any reason that I wouldn't also. But he kind of tries to do something every night right around 10 o'clock if it's not one of his 3 other shows that he's got running on there, including, like I said earlier, Mike and the Mike show. He's on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So Chris also is going to be probably, doing something for the Super Bowl like everybody else is. So everybody will be able to jump back and forth, say hi to everybody, whatever, we'll all probably be talking about the game and all that. So
awesome, man. Hey, listen, man, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the content tonight, Culler Commentary, his first night taking over TD Fins Talk, it was an amazing show, and I'm seeing all the reviews in the comment section right now. Thank y'all so much. The link to the channel Culler Commentary is at the top of the chat. We get Color. I think you got about 40 more subs, man. Maybe we can
You're
get
kidding.
Maybe we can get 50 because you're at
Wow.
61 right now, man. That's amazing.
Wow, you guys are awesome. Really, I appreciate that. I know it's not much like right off the bat, but it is actually. I absolutely thank every one of you, and I appreciate you listening to me.
Yeah.
You know, I can be a kind of a little heady sometimes, but that's kind of the person I'm trying to speak to. I know TD's audience is one of the most intelligent that I chat with on a regular basis over the last couple of years. So, I really do appreciate the reception there. I do. It makes me feel really good. So,
You're getting more subs right now, man. So I just dropped the link in the comment section. Go subscribe right now to Color Commentary if you enjoy the content. Another place where you're at 72, man. Oh my god.
Awesome. It also encourages me
bro.
It encourages me to get the fire under my bun and get some more stuff out for you guys too. Plus, I'd always like to go live a little more often. I noticed that there's always these times when great streams like TD's or our friends over at Miami Sports Fanatics, Geo and Batman, love them guys too, and I'm glad to see them on a night over here at TD FINSTALK as well. Those are a great couple guys there. And, guys like him, Finn's Tailgate, Mike on the mic, Joe, the lovely Miss Finns, Joe, as we used to know her, Jolie. Great job. Gotta love it. And we really appreciate having you too. So,
Larry K, I mean, so many, man.
Yep. Larry K, absolutely. Enjoy listening to his great takes. He's probably, speaking. He speaks to me. So, as far as relativity goes, so, I just appreciate everybody doing that. So I'm always willing to kind of fire up a stream for you guys that get bored after somebody like TD shuts down for the night or something. So, follow me on Twitter. You can find me at Cullercom, CULLERCOMM, basically just color commentary, but shortened to Cullercom. And, any time of the day or night, let me know if I got 100 people on Twitter yelling at me to fire up a stream, I'll do it. So just always know that.
Don't forget the homies over at Miami Sports Music as well. Morning show.
Stephen D.
Yes,
absolutely. Another person I'd like to thank as far as allowing me to jump on and speak to the overall community here. I know he's got a lot of like friends as well. So yeah, absolutely. Miami Sports Music every morning at 9 o'clock. He said the best morning sports show in South Florida.
In the land.
Yeah, exactly. Now that South Florida is the whole world.
This is your last call, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dropping the link in the comment section. See, we have 150 people still watching right now. So this is the last call. Color, you're at 78 subs. Let's see if we can at least get an 80, at least 80. Hit that like button. We got 2 more subs, and go subscribe to the link right now.
And I appreciate that, Steve, Savane, and also
my brother.
Yeah, sweet jumps. Yeah, consistency is the name of the game, and it's encouragement like you guys are showing tonight that allows me to feel like it's worth doing. So I absolutely greatly appreciate you guys getting over there and subscribing like that. Tell me what you think of what I already got. I got a couple videos showing some live game footage of from row 1 in the end zone for the Jets game. All 3 plays are in succession on the same drive, driving into the end zone. And then I got a couple clips from some recent Finn's Tailgate shows. But again, now that I feel like I know I probably won't have to talk to a wall, like I said, I'll fire up streams any of the time. I wanted to try to do something earlier in the morning for people that might be getting their clothes on for work and fixing breakfast for their kids and stuff like that. Kind of waking people up for Stephen D's show, that sort of thing. And even in the evening time when there's a lull in the action and people are still want to talk about what they just saw on the news, so Oh,
Listen, man, they loading you up, bro. You're at 83 right now. You
wow.
started with 21. 52 people just joined the show. So congratulations, Color.
Well, I
Keep up the great
appreciate that,
work in the
TD. I
community, man.
appreciate your audience. I appreciate you, man. You know, I've ever thought of doing something like this without people like you. So
Oh, man,
really
it's my
appreciate that.
pleasure, bro. But good night, everyone. We will
Yep.
see you soon. EM Foolish Talk is in the building. What's up, man? I hope all is well.
Oh, I
gotta
got to
get
shout out to EM. You know,
we
always
gotta
got to
get
shout
EM
out
back.
to EM.
EM been running from this heat lately, Color. He
I
been
know,
scared,
I
man.
know, I
He
know.
been blaming it on his phone, even though he got a brand new one. But we're gonna leave it be. We're gonna leave it be. I understand, man. When you can't win a debate, you know you should run and hide, man.
And I've been so busy lately. Like, you know, it's like I just haven't really been able to see what his takes are on our head coach. So maybe he's just kind of feeling everybody out, you know.
Color. EM sits back and waits to hear everybody else's take and then copy off of everybody's take so he can sound like he know what he's talking about. I'm telling you, the man just never beat me in a debate, but he swear he did, man. But it's all good, man. It's all good. We love you over here, EM.
Oh, once again, I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for watching the first installment of Color Commentary, and
Yes.
I hope to do many more. Thanks, TD.
Hey, you're at 88 Colors, so you
Oh.
lost it, man. It's crazy.
12
man.
more. There ain't 12 more people that are like that have
I know,
pity for
right?
a guy like me.
He said 12 more people. Anybody got pity for a guy
100
like
is
him?
such a nice round number. You know what I mean?
To 100? I don't know,
And
man.
I know, you know, Finn's Tailgate has at least 500. So I know, you know, at least 12 more of you are over there. You know what I mean?
Well, you always gonna
I'll
have
get
people
them all later.
that'll love to listen to you, but just won't subscribe, man. They just, you know. But it's all good. You'll be over 100 real soon, Color, because the content that you're gonna be delivering, people gonna be begging for it, man. So thank you for coming through tonight, Color. I'll see you
Thank
next
you, sir.
week over here, but we'll
Yep.
see you throughout the week on your
Absolutely.
own show. And we appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, bro. You have a good night.
All right, man. Fins up no matter what, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to TD FinStalk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. That was Color Commentary, man. I love listening to his takes, man. Well thought out thought processes. And I'm gonna enjoy watching him on the show and his own show continuously. This is it for tonight, man. I'm finna get off. I was gonna do my own stream, like a Q&A or something. I might because I had some emergency come up, but then it just resolved itself. So I might because I had one more lined up for y'all tonight, just so you know. I don't know if y'all noticed, we've been getting the lineups together. We got, you know, a show on Monday night, we got the roundtables on Tuesday, we got two shows on Wednesday. Jolie and Larry K. Mike on the mic is on Mondays. And Thursday, last night you had Gio and Batman and those guys. And tonight, you're supposed to have one more on Thursday, but we're working through that. And tonight, you had Color, and you're in another one that's going to be coming as well. So you're gonna have back-to-back. So what we're gonna end up doing is having like back-to-backs every day of the week, where you have two different YouTubers giving you great content, because we want to get you through this off season and hear as many takes and opinions and thought processes about everything that we do going forward. All right. So I'm trying my best to load up great content for you all. Fins up no matter what. Love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Peace. Whoa, almost knocked my mic over. We are out, ladies and gentlemen, and Color at 92, man. Y'all help that man get to 100. 8 more of y'all. Go subscribe to Color Commentary. Get him to 100. I'll see y'all later. Love y'all. I am out. Peace.